G'day, mates. We're back. It has been a later episode than usual this week. We've been busy boys throughout the week. It's a sunny afternoon on a Saturday, but I thought no better time to sit down and spend 3/4 an hour talking about a fantasy football game on a podcast. Alster, I mean, it's surprising that we've been busy boys because it certainly hasn't been on the Sorare platform. Another international break. I feel like we just had one, and we're in the midst of another one once again, and I still couldn't care less.
Yeah, something about the international break just doesn't hit the same, does it? I was looking at my lineups and I was like, oh, should I even contemplate trying to put something in? And I was like, no. But look, I've been using my time wisely. I've been a very busy boy. As we said, we've been 3 or 4 days late to the podcast. I know everyone out there is eager to get us in their ear holes once again. But yeah, it's been a busy week for me, mate. I've got a lot done. I've ticked off quite a few items on my to-do list.
Ali and Simon's international break to-do list.
Complete it, mate. You can't complete it.
First thing on the agenda, finally got around to counting the blades of grass in my front lawn. Turns out there's loads.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I mean, I've actually made the most of the international break. I've cooked 13 roasts by now.
Beef? 13, wow.
Mm.
Well, I mean, that's, I've been doing a little bit of learning. I've been doing a little bit of education. I've been learning Korean, actually, purely just so I can check lineup news about Heung-min Son.
Does that say he's starting or masturbating?
But you got to understand, Alistair, I've actually started coaching an under-9 soccer team, and I've just started calling them Show and Virgil, and watching them rack up decisives every weekend. It's actually quite entertaining.
And if your dad has said, oh, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, just as long as you have fun, well, I hate to say it, your dad's a loser.
Wow, that's so heartfelt and lovely. Well, I've actually been very busy. I've actually printed out my entire Sorare collection into life-size cardboard cutouts and have them all stand around me while I cry in the dark.
It's okay. Pedro is here.
I've actually gone and adopted a small Mexican child. So I now currently care about the Mexican, national team and Hector Herrera's AA score.
Wow, well, I've actually been solving the peace crisis in the Middle East.
Oh, that's nice. How's that going for you?
Not great, Bob.
Well, I actually went out and bought guys with international utility, and I've been running them in lineups, running stacks, and I've been winning prizes to the time that Sorare is not normally running. It's been quite fun.
Cool, couple of busy boys. Love it.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Now, Simon, have you been rivaling? Have you been rivalrying? Have you been playing the game that has swept the nation? Are you playing Rivals?
Mate, been rivaling hard. Every day there's a new request, a new matchup, new bragging rights on the line, or what do you call them? What's the thing that everyone wants to get?
Zappies. Zappy boys.
Zappy boys. Look, it's taken off. I mean, it's only in better. And I don't know if Sorare was thinking that they'd be getting this many people going on to Rivals, but at the moment is all anyone can talk about. Rivals that, SO5 who? Rivals is the new king of Sorare at the moment.
Yeah. I've been really enjoying it, and I think I mentioned last week how surprised I am at my care factor for these random, Lithuania versus Scotland, Rivals matchup. I think yesterday we had I had a few international games where I had some rares and some super rares, still lost. So I'm not very good at Rivals. I'm just as good at Rivals as I am at SO5. But I think the biggest takeaway from the last week, the first kind of week of widespread adoption of Rivals, is that I think you have to eat some humble pie here, Simon, and admit that I was correct in that people really, really care about their reputation, about their name on the leaderboard. You don't need no prizes. You don't need no ETH. You don't need no cash. All you need is your name, a level, a rank in which to climb, and people to beat on a weekend, and people seem to be content.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily about these reputation points per se. It's more about bragging rights, and it's an intangible thing between mates or between people within the community. I get joy out of knowing that I beat you this week. I don't need points to tell me that I did that. I don't need reputation.
Have you been looking at your Zap score though? Have you been going up the leaderboard? Have you been, what's your current rank on Rivals? Do you know?
Now, is the Zap the thing that's like that little green like energy bolt? Because mine's always stuck on 100.
That's because you're not entering the arena. You have to enter the arena if you want to get reputation points or zappies.
Hang on. So I've just been competing against people. What's the difference?
See, this is where it all comes, Simon. You don't.
Have you ever had a dream that
You don't care about rep because you haven't been getting rep, but that's because you haven't even been playing the game properly.
Oh.
Basically, you have to enter the arena, so you can play against me, sure, bragging rights, whatever. But if you enter the arena, you get matched up with someone randomly, and if you beat them, you get zappy points. And if you get zappy points, that's when you can kind of like progress through the levels, and you can become a Grand Wizard or a Time Lord or whatever the the rankings are.
It couldn't be simpler.
That changes everything. That changes everything. I've been like, why has everyone else got these higher scores? I've been doing all right. Like, I think I've got a 6-6 record. It's not great, but I'll take it. I've won a fair few matchups with you, which has been fantastic. You've been rolling out super rare boys, and I'm just rolling out my commons. And I'm just a better Sorare manager, which I thought that was great. But this whole arena, I mean, that's a whole new kettle of fish. Wow.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to go and just start playing Rivals 24 hours a day, non-stop.
I'm trying to find what my Rivals like rank is. I believe I'll get my screen.
Oh,
up
just
here.
to show off your reputation points. Yeah, sure. Go on.
Well, it's not a pretty picture necessarily. Here we go. Rivals, 138 matches played. Well, it's not a great win-loss percentage. I'm a local coach currently. 189 reps, 57 won, 81 lost. Not great. It's made even more sad. And then I think when I first started, I was like, just chucking a team in. I'd go to bed, chuck a few teams in overnight. Because people are requesting that I battle them. Battle them? Yeah, sure, battle them. But of course, I'm asleep most of the time, so I don't get. The advantages of Rivals is that you can check the lineups once they're in. You can avoid DNPs. You can chuck a sub in. You can do whatever. At the beginning, I was just accepting everyone's invites, putting my teams in, hoping for the best, waking up with DNP. So I lost a couple. But then, since then, I kind of switched on and really only, selected matchups where I thought I had a good chance of winning. And I've just been losing ever since. So maybe I need to go back to just, random draw.
So hang on, is your record there, is that arena and private battle?
I think so, yeah, because you can only enter the arena once per game. So again, I mean, classic Simon not playing the game properly. So this is the leaderboard. I mean, again, if you can be the number one zappy guy, people are gonna fight tooth and nail for that. I wonder if there's a way to find out what you're like.
When you say you get into the arena only once, is that one game at a time? Like you can only be in the arena for one game?
No, so you can enter the arena for each game. So if there's 5 games on tomorrow, you can enter the arena for each of them. But you need to have the arena tickets. And I think you can only get them through, you can claim them. So like if I go to Rivals, so I've got 24 arena tickets.
Right.
Another day, so you can get one, every day. And then I think if you do certain things, like if you refer people or you win a certain amount of games, you can get arena tickets because you need the arena tickets to enter the arena to get zappies. You follow me?
I see. Yeah, I see. Okay. It doesn't sound ridiculous at all. You just put the arena tickets in, get the zappies, and you get to play with your boys.
And look, I haven't added any friends here, obviously, but you can create a friends leaderboard. So we could create a bit of a Sorare Down Under, group leaderboard. There's the overall leaderboard. I'm 11 zappies away from going up from local coach to what's next, I don't know. Like, could be anything. That's exciting. That gets me going. That gets me wanting to play more. I want to find out what comes after local coach. Regional coach? Who knows?
And Postecoglou.
And yeah, you become big. You evolve into Big Ange.
It's evolving. Caterpie, this is so great.
So you can see that I got up to 199, but then I lost rep because I lost games because I sucked. So,
okay. Because that's what I was going to say. I was going to say is like the guy that's on 440 zappies, has he just put a lineup in for every bloody game that's happening every day?
Yeah, and I'm sure that when Moon, that's AJ, he's got every card under the sun, so he's just smashing people left and right. What they're going to do, Simon, is they're going to introduce like a ELO type weighting mechanism. So when you enter the arena, you will be matched with someone who's on a similar level to you.
Right,
so bottom of the barrel.
So
you're not going to be
all the numpties.
All the shit munchers, yeah.
The shit kickers,
yeah.
Cool.
So you're not going to be going up against, the whales on the platform.
I'm going up against Ange.
He did the same joke about 3 times already.
Yeah, exactly. So look, there's a lot to it, but all I see is, I can see people getting absolutely addicted to this for sure.
Okay, well, I'll put you this though. This is only in better. Is Sorare missing a trick by the fact that everyone's getting... look at that. Everyone's getting emotionally attached
to the match.
Jonas,
Windy Boy Wind, man of the match. Hey!
Cool. I like that.
That's
cool.
Very cool. I like that a lot.
I thought that was my Jordan Boss in the Australia-Bangladesh fixture, and I thought, that's pretty nifty.
I like that a lot, yeah. I'm sure that this, it says here add to watch list. The idea with this is that you got, Jonas Windy Boy Wind is the man of the match. You want to buy his super rare? Absolutely.
Yeah. What I was saying before Jonas rudely interrupted is, does the fact that everyone's getting emotionally attached at the moment in the beta stage, this is all going to get wiped, and it's going to be starting from scratch. Like, are we getting a little bit too excited given it's not actually landed on the platform yet? Some people can't even play it.
Yeah, well, I think they actually had to slow down because they were giving people 2 invites a week or something, and they've actually had to bring that back to 1 because too many people were joining and they can't handle it. So I think they're getting feedback from everyone at the moment. I gave them some scathing feedback on their UI. It was pretty... On the mobile app especially, it's a bit terrible. You don't really know where to go to do certain things. It's all a bit... Yeah,
I'm trying to do it at the moment, and I'm trying to find previous matchups, and it's all over the place, and when my lineups are live,
there's no easy way of checking them, or they don't update quick enough. I know that it's really annoying that you can't search for a particular team. You have to scroll through, especially on a Saturday on a normal weekend. It's every single game is there, and you're like, I just want to find Alasuns, So they need a search function, and they also really should have a games on, the next games on are this. Whereas at the moment they've got it listed out in order of the different leagues. So lots to work on. But yeah, I think going back to your original point, they are going to wipe all the rep points for everyone. I think that's only fair because otherwise everyone who joins will be way behind the 8 ball. And I think it was Trip and B, who's a bit of a So Rare Rivals pioneer in the community. He was saying that he's not going to, that I think on the, was it Sorare Andrews? Sorare Andrews, they were talking about the topic of will you buy limited cards for rivals? It gives you the prompt. Do you want to buy this card and make your lineup a bit better? And he was like, as soon as they wipe my rep, you bet your ass I'm going to be buying cards. Now, the question is, Simon, do you think you'll be tempted to be, instant buying the odd card here or there? Is that rep worth enough to you that you're going to be trying to, pimp out your lineups by buying some limited cards?
Well, firstly, I just want to say that, I might not have been entering the arena, but you haven't factored in else that while you're playing chess, I'm actually playing checkers.
Ha! Wrong!
And I'm actually saving myself for once everything's wiped. I'm fresh and I'm ready. I'm not fatigued. I haven't been playing Rivals for weeks on end. I've been biding my time, and I'm going to come straight to the top. So that's just a little bit of disrespect coming my way, is that once this actually happens, you've been getting all distracted with your, make-believe points at the moment. But, I'm waiting for the real thing, the real show.
I know the rules now, so I'm ready.
Yeah, definitely not covering up my complete
Oh,
lack
you have to enter the arena? Oh.
No, I like my version better. Look, I tell you what, if it gives you a bit of extra utility, I think it would still have to go hand in hand with my limited team. But like, if it's like, okay, I want to get a victory over you this weekend, which I know we've got some exciting things to talk about in terms of Rivals, so the bragging rights will be on the line. But, that might encourage me to buy that guy, and then also I can use him in my pro team as well, right?
Yeah. Well, you can. I think Sorare, if they're smart, will need to have some kind of seamless transition, because I assume that a lot of people their first Sorare experience will be Rivals. Of those people out there that currently don't play Sorare, this is the logical first step. Like, pick it up at the pub, play a game. Well, this is cool. What's next? I think they really need to have something pretty much front and center, being like, you just need, 3 more cards to fulfill your first, Cap 240 limited team, or you need a limited forward and you can enter this. Like, prompt them to go and actually play SO5 as well, because that's ultimately where people are going to really get hooked, is once they start entering teams into SO5. So, if someone's been playing Rivals and they've just been buying cards as and when they need them, if there's something that can come up being like, or even like a checklist where it's like, have some achievements, like buy a 5-man SO5 team, enter your first SO5 team. If they can have those things that you can tick off and get rewarded for as you go, I think that'll be massive.
Meanwhile... Oh, and they've already announced that. Okay, great. Did not read the post properly.
Because otherwise people, whether people are going to actually make that step across to SO5, that's the next big challenge.
Do you think that they can... I know we've gone away from the progress bar in the past, but can they bring that in and use that as a way for when people go and buy their first couple of limiteds? Look, to be honest, if they're going from Rivals to limited, they're not going to be buying the best guys, and it's very hard to win in limiteds. Could they do something where, like, if with those 5 limiteds over the course of 4 weeks with the, Cap 220 mode or something, you hit a certain number of points, you might get a reward or something that filters back down into Rivals, something that makes that transition from Rivals to limited a little bit easier, because I feel like whoever they're going to be buying, it's not going to be top of the shelf for a lot of people. So how do we keep them engaged with that pro element?
I mean, I guess there's the semi-pro and the kickoff competitions, which I don't really know too much about because they've been locked for me forever. But yeah, I think I'm not sure how they will do it, but there's got to be a way that, just those gentle prompts being like, you're almost there. You could almost enter this team, and reward people for entering a team. I think, which is your point. Like, if they can get some kind of reward for doing that, then that's all of a sudden they're away, and then they can see what happens over the course of a weekend when they roll out their team, and see what they need to buy and choose. They might go, oh, I've got 4 outfielders. I really need to buy a goalkeeper now, because they might not buy a goalkeeper for Rivals, but it's like, oh, I need one if I want to go into Cap 240 limited,
Does it show that the fact that the person who finished first with 440 rep points or whatever, that they're clearly a massive gallery on Sorare? They've been playing pro for a long time. Does that sort of prove that Rivals should never have rewards?
Ooh, it depends on how they do it. I mean, so at the moment, let me just share my screen again.
Because I would argue that it does. I would argue that it just shows that people who've been on the platform, they'll be the first to work it out. They'll be the first to find the best strategy, and they'll be the ones that win it.
So the way that it's been working so far in the beta version is, see this, like, as you tick off these certain goals, you win coins. reach hometown hero, play a match 7 consecutive days, 2,000 coins for winning 7 consecutive arena matches. That, if they can really expand that and kind of have people not verse each other necessarily, like the leaderboard could be more of just a comparative thing, like they've got the friends leaderboard and the overall leaderboard. But then if your way to kind of progressing and winning things is through ticking off certain achievements, that then creates a bit of a different dynamic where you're kind of versing yourself and maybe the people, your friends that are directly closest to you. And who knows? I mean, I don't think they've ever hinted at using coins to be able to buy limited cards, but maybe that could be something, like a progress bar style thing where it's like, right, I want to win coins because once I get 20,000 coins, I have, $10 of credit or something like that I can then use, on the marketplace. Because especially now they've got the instant buy.
So you're saying that Sorare need to come up with a way to make their coins worthwhile and actually have a purpose? Is that what you're saying? Because
Yes.
At the moment they do not. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzle pieces that need to go be put in place for this to work, and I think the Rivals is it's the honey, it's attracting all the flies.
No, Harry, no! Don't look at the light! I can't help it. It's so beautiful.
But now they've just got to really make sure they don't screw it up, and they've got to make sure that there's progression, there's enough to kind of keep people there. I mean, people are already buying limiteds, instant buying limiteds to beat people in the better version of this. So, think about if there are rewards, people are going to be buying cards all the time. If there's actually a carrot for people to chase after, they're not going to think twice about paying $5 to get, the Bangladeshi midfielder that's going to help them win their Rivals game and take home some more coins or whatever the rewards is. So, yeah.
And as well, of course, this is common cards. Yes, you're buying cards to boost your team, and maybe it might be you can only buy 2 cards per lineup that go with your commons. Maybe there's a cap on how many pro cards you can play in the lineups. But also at the end of the day, yeah, I know. But it kind of makes sense because it's unlike normal capped competitions, whether it's the biggest manager on the platform or a brand new guy. Both of those people can both pick Bruno Fernandes in their squad. Both of them can pick Jude Bellingham in their team. The playing field is kind of leveled in Rivals. So that's where I do understand how that could entice a manager to go and buy the limited cards, because I think in the pro version, at the end of the day, whoever has the most money, to a certain extent, even with a shitty strategy, will win a lot more than someone who has a lot of less money.
Ooh, shots fired. Simon calls out Wales.
I'm coming for you. But for me, I see it's not here yet, but I think the leagues, the personal leagues that we could make with friends, I feel like that's where we can take Rivals to a whole new level, because I just wonder if it's a new toy at the moment, we're playing with it, but do we get sick of it in a couple of weeks' time because we're all addicts and we like to win something tangible? But I feel like if we can create these leagues and these competitions and we can play against people in our community and it comes towards a grand final and there's that real fantasy element to it, I could totally see that taking off even more than what the Rivals is at the moment.
I wonder if eventually they could have because they're already going to kind of separate people depending on their kind of gallery size and level of, so when you enter the arena, you're going to be placed against someone in your level. I wonder if they could create either leaderboards or tournaments for people in those levels, and they, the tournament above the common league could be all limiteds or at least 3 limiteds or something if you want to enter that arena. And that way people, it's gives them that, again, something to strive for, to be I want to enter the limited, or the semi-pro league or something in Rivals. And it's right, you don't have to buy 3 limiteds for every team on the platform, but you could be right, there's 5 teams that I'm going to go and buy limiteds for, so that specifically I can enter them in this Rivals tournament every week. So you might be right, I don't want to buy you might not want to go and buy goalkeepers for every Premier League team, but you could go and buy every outfielder or 4 or 5 outfielders for every Premier League team, and go into Rivals every weekend and just clean up. But again, it depends on like why you'd be doing that. You know, what's the end goal? But I can see it. I can see the logical kind of progression from this, where everyone's just playing with common cards, to a time where it's just mostly limited cards in Rivals, and everyone's just got a limited collection because they want to go out and grind Rivals every week.
That's a good point. Is that what's going to happen if we look ahead in 3 months' time? Once it's out of beta, and obviously, I think people they're holding back from buying limited cards now because they know that it's going to get wiped. Is that the reality of what's going to happen, Alistair? Is everyone who has pro cards just going to buy a lot more limited, a few more throwaway limited cards, and then all of a sudden anyone who has a common card in Rivals, you're already behind the 8 ball?
That's it, yeah. I think, yeah, exactly. And if you're a common dweeb, you can play against other common dweebs. Yes, I'm already referring to them as common dweebs.
Yeah,
this is what Rivals does to you. It makes you feel like you are better than other people. You know, it's about hierarchy. It's about making sure that you're better than your fellow man.
Oh, who does he think he is?
I'm your king.
Well, I didn't vote for you.
Yeah. Like when I wake up in the morning and I see that I've beaten you once again, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
That's right, yeah. Beat someone in Rivals, make love to my wife.
Oh, that poor woman. Do you get it? Because you never win? That was the joke, because you never win. Yeah.
Oh, Kathy.
There you go, yeah.
Never win.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, Rivals. Big yes so far. Taking over.
I think it's... Oh, what was my point? I was going to say something. Oh, I think... We briefly mentioned it, but I think this has to be the reintroduction of the progress bar, right?
Meanwhile... Yes, I know. They've already announced it. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Thanks.
Surely this is what they're going to do. Coins go towards your progress bar. The progress bar can be cashed out at any time, but you can hit certain levels. First level might be a jersey. Second level might be, $50 worth of credit to go onto the limited market. Next level might be a random rare card, and then obviously with these coins, yes, you can get small amounts of coins by playing Rivals and, potentially hitting certain achievements, but the real way to earn coins, as we already know, is to be playing SO5. And, like I play super rare divisions, I get more coins even if I do shit than you do playing in limiteds. So if they've got that progress bar infrastructure in place, it incentivizes people to be gathering coins as quickly as they possibly can so that they can cash in those rewards. So you've heard it here first. I think the progress bar is back.
Okay, I see. And I must say, we've been very clear on how much we hate international breaks. It has in a way put a little band-aid solution on international breaks because we've been able to play against each other. The international games, I sort of cared how Australia went against Bangladesh the other night. It's a good interim solution. Solution.
It is. Has So Rare solved international breaks? They may have done.
They might have. They're getting there. Can we talk about, unless you've got anything else to add, can we talk about how we want to leverage Rivals and we want to take it to another level where it gets personal, where it gets financial.
That's right.
Where it gets really meaningful.
Yeah. We might bring So Rare to its knees by doing some illegal betting activity on the side. But those who have been listening to our show would have got very excited last week when I teased a certain new feature, a certain new segment, a brand spanking new bit of technology that's going to revolutionize not just this podcast, but Sorare as a whole. It's the lunch wheel, Simon.
Lunch wheel!
The lunch wheel is real and it's beautiful. Now, we were floating some ideas around last week about, when one of us wins a reward, depending on the value of that reward, we can sell it and spin the lunch wheel, and it's a connection between Sorare and real life. You win a limited card, you win some lunch, and that was like, that got me going. But this Rivals popularity and the already budding rivalry between the two of us, it just clicked for me the other night. I was like, lunch wheel. The lunch wheel is perfect for Rivals because we can put a wager on a particular rivals game each week, each weekend, each game week, and the loser has to spin the lunch wheel and purchase that item for the other person.
Wouldn't it be the other way around? The winner gets to spin the lunch wheel?
Well, the winner gets to spin the winner gets to spin. It depends on how you look at it. The winner gets to spin the lunch wheel because it is fun.
Yeah. Well, you're on a game show. You want to be the one spinning the wheel.
And the loser has to just immediately transfer the dollar value attached to that particular lunch item.
Yeah, and like we tried, we floated the idea of the drug wheel. We just didn't have the budget for it. We spent all our money on Rivals upgrades.
The drug wheel is still in development. God, just the price of cocaine in Australia is just too high.
Cocaine isn't cheap.
It's just
the
unsustainable.
Shipping.
I mean,
shipping.
Yeah, God.
Yeah.
The shipping? Postage and handling is a nightmare with the drug wheel. I've got to send 2 grams of heroin to Simon in Melbourne. Oh, Jesus.
I'm very excited for the lunch wheel. I think it adds. We can probably build up. I think like I'm picturing it a matchup of the week. Let's not spin the lunch wheel willy nilly. It's not every second day, but maybe there's a matchup of the week, and perhaps also we could reach out, to the community. They let us know let's vote on the matchup of the week. What should be, the game that we focus on, or something like that.
I like that idea. I like the idea also of it being kind of randomized if we can, because obviously, you are going to just pick Liverpool every week because you have a Liverpool stack. We don't want that. We also want the opportunity for that to be a possibility. If Liverpool comes up, Simon's on track to smash it. Possibly.
Well, can we have a secondary wheel? I don't want to get ridiculous now.
Too many wheels.
Well, could we have a second wheel for suggestions? The suggestions go into the wheel. We spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, whoever that team is, that's the matchup of the week.
I do like that a lot. Okay. Well, I think let's definitely roll that out. Let's get the community involved. That's a brilliant idea.
I don't know. I've got the lunch wheel spinning off on my other screen here, and I don't know if you've got it up, Elster, but the lunch wheel is on a constant spin. It's just my head going round and round and round.
Okay, let's stop teasing everyone.
Can you fill us in on what's on the lunch wheel at the moment?
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so look, can you see the lunch wheel?
I can. It's very laggily spinning around.
Laggily? Okay, cool. Love a bit of laggily. All right, so look, we've got a number of things on there, and the lunch wheel will ever be evolving. It's always going to grow. So we've got your classics on there. We've got a burrito. We've got a KFC zinger box. We've got chicken and chips. We've got soup, in brackets, community choice. So that's another fun way to get the community involved. Choose the flavor of soup, But then it kind of gets a little bit stranger. We've got garlic naan on there, Vegemite sandwich, pretty fucking good milkshake for all the Pulp Fiction fans out there. Jar of mayonnaise, particularly delicious one. What else have we got? Sloppy steaks.
Any roasts?
No roasts. Does that mean that if you spin the wheel and you get roast, the other person has to pay for an entire roast?
You could go to your local carvery and get a roast beef and chips or something. I don't know. Roast beef and veggies.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we've got to add roast there. All right.
Well, the good thing is, mate, I've always got one on hand. So if I do win, that it's just there in the fridge ready for me anyway. So
yeah. We'll take suggestions. We'll keep adding to this. This wheel's going to get, these segments are going to get even more smaller than this, which will just add to the fun to it. We can also put some things in there the non-edible. We've got a limited Danny Vukovic in there. What else have we got? A dozen eggs. By the way, the other thing is that every week, just some follow-up content, we will have to film us eating that particular meal. So, jar of mayonnaise in particular, can't wait for that one. So,
just to clarify, sorry, a jar of, you don't mean a full jar of mayonnaise, right? Like just a spoonful.
Did I stutter? A jar of mayonnaise.
This dude is being called Mayo Man after cameras caught him eating mayonnaise straight out of a giant jug at a baseball stadium.
Mate, no way you're getting through a whole jar of mayonnaise.
Hence the fun. Hence the fun.
Yeah, it'd be great content. It'd be me crying while trying to force down spoonful after spoonful of mayonnaise.
Now, this is another good point. Something we need to work out with the lunch wheel. Do we spin the wheel at the time, like now, and then know what we're playing for, or do we play and then spin the wheel the following week to get the reward?
Well, obviously you got to spin it when you're getting a reward, because if I know for a fact that the reward is a jar of mayonnaise, I'm not going to be putting out my best lineup, am I?
You make a good point.
Yeah, okay, true. That's true.
You idiot. Oh,
You
I win a
shitless.
jar of mayonnaise and a dozen eggs. Gonna be boosting up that week. That's the worst idea you've ever had.
I mean, the dozen eggs is great. I mean, think of the protein intake. You'd be set for the day.
God, a dozen eggs. Yeah, we might need to talk off air about a few of these, mate. Some of them sound a bit hospitalizing.
There's no arguing with the lunch wheel.
Okay.
Look, if you end up in hospital, another great content opportunity.
Yeah, what's a sloppy steak?
Maybe you can Google that one, Simon.
Is it safe to look up on a work laptop?
It's safe. It's safe for work. Unless you're a real piece of shit.
Did you used to be a piece of shit?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
What are sloppy steaks?
It's a steak with water dumped on it. It's really, really good.
All right, we'll let you discover sloppy steaks in your own time. It's good fun. Okay, so that's the lunch wheel. So let's set our first rivals match. Let's have a look at what we got coming up. Because obviously we don't need to do this necessarily every week. We could do this as often as we need to. But yeah, let's pick a match up for the first week, and then from now on, after this, we can get people to set their matchups for us.
Okay. Is it going to be an international game?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the issue with that, Simon, is we're going to have to get up at like 5:30 to check our lineups, or don't have to if you don't want to. But are you committed to the lunch wheel or not?
Well, I am committed to the lunch wheel. Yeah, that's true, because I feel like, I'm not going to lie, I'm not probably tuned in to Israel or Romania's predicted starting 11.
Mm-hmm.
Could be tough. Tough.
True.
Oh, you got that the Brazil League, 8:30, 7:30 your time.
Yeah, what game's that?
Fortaleza versus Cruzeiro.
Yep. All right, let's do that. Brazil League. Let's roll. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Cannot wait. I'm literally sweating with excitement to spin the lunch wheel. It's the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Unless I get a full jar of mayonnaise.
You just know it's going to be full jar of mayonnaise.
Well, I did a test run before and I got a dozen, or it's 2 dozen eggs you had in there initially. And I was like, 24 eggs? I was like, that's where I draw the line.
I did have that moment. I was like, whoa, 24 eggs that's pretty bad.
And also, I'm assuming these are raw, not cooked. I could eat 12
do with
eggs.
them what you want.
Smoothie. Oh.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, okay. As the winner, no, I'm the winner. So, just to be clear, 97.5% is all good things. You're a winner. You've won rivals, but we've just added that element in just to keep you guessing, you know? Is that right?
Wait, what?
Like, you're very likely to get something good for winning rivals, but
yeah,
things like the eggs or the mayonnaise, just there to keep you honest, you know, keep you on your toast.
Yeah, look, it's, we want it to resemble the dynamics of life. You know, life isn't always, gumdrops and rose petals.
Yep, I've always said that. I've always said that.
Classic saying, that one. Yeah, no, there's a few bogeys in there. And potentially the lunch wheel, I mean, we could also use it for what it was originally intended, which is, turning our so rare rewards into delicious, yummy, real life food. But the rivals thing just makes it so that it's not relying on us winning, which is a real hole in that plan, because the chances of us winning anything are second to none.
That's what I was trying to say to you. I was like, we're going to be very hungry boys, because Yeah.
Yeah.
Strike rate. I mean, look at your rivals' record, mate.
And this is the other thing about this new contest is that you're actually not allowed to eat anything until you win a game of Rivals. So you really need to be like on the ball because it's your own survival at stake.
True, this is true.
Sloppy steak.
You know, this ties in perfectly to what we've discussed. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning, Alistair, and I've bought 5 Fortaleza limiteds, rares, super rares. I'm winning that bloody lunch wheel, mate.
Well, you raise a good point. Are we allowing purchases of cards, or is it just only what's in your gallery at the time of the game being,
I think it personally should just be commons. You've got super rares. I have limiteds. I have 5 limited, like 10
But is
limiteds.
that not also part of the fun if it's like, if we pick a team at random and it's like, it's Benfica, and I'm like, bang, there's my Otamendi super rare. Like, is that not part of the luck of the draw?
Okay, but
part
I think
of the
we'll have
benefit
to
of having it random?
Okay, but we have to start doing it random. Obviously, we've picked this week, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments that are like, Liverpool, and it'll be like, all right, well, we've got some Simon fans out there.
That's it. Everyone suggest Liverpool. And also, Elster, just to wrap up the lunch wheel segment, I'm very excited. It also could tie in with the underdog. Maybe once in a blue moon, we jump on an underdog team. Who knows?
I like that. I mean, poor old Allison's. Okay, let's quickly touch on the underdogs. We didn't plan to, but 3 from 3. 3 big L's across the board. The underdogs did not get it done for us, and if those of us who watched the underdogs promo last week will know that they did promise that if they didn't win, they would die. So rest in peace to the Allison's Football Club. Tried hard, 1-0 defeat. Unfortunate that the entire team has to pass away as a result of a football game, but this is the world we live in. So moving on from them, they're dead to us and literally dead. We need to pick a new underdog team, Simon. Are we doing it international breaks? Or are we just saying, let's hold off?
That could be a mountain too far to climb, I think.
It'll be Gibraltar. It'll be Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Let's just say it's Gibraltar. They're not going to win. Move on.
Yeah.
Are they already dead to us?
Yeah, that's it. They're already dead to us.
Gibraltar, you're dead to us. Thanks for losing already in advance. Cheers. Okay,
now,
Simon.
What about other updates that's been happening on Sorare? Talk us through, Rivals is that's beginning up to become old news, but they're still rolling out some new features here and there, Sorare. They're nifty boys.
That's right. The new chat function, very exciting. They've been promising this for a little while. Obviously, had to kind of work out the kinks. So basically what that means is you can now send messages back to people who send you offers. So you can be like, I need more money. I need, better cards, whatever it might be. Now, a little known function that other people may not be aware of is that, yes, you can do text messages, but you can also do audio messages back to people now. So they're pre-filled audio messages. I think it's, you want to, if there's a language barrier, you want to get the tone across of what you're trying to say. So there's actually 3 new audio messages that you can send in response. So the first one is if the offer is a bit low, you need a little bit more cash, you can send them this one.
We want more money.
Now, if you feel like they've kind of undercut you a little bit, they haven't sent quite, sent a few cards in a trade, and you're like, oh, I need some better cards. I need a little bit more. I need you to kind of, maybe chuck an extra card in there. You can send them this one.
You cheap bastard.
Nice, to the point, that one. And now, of course, sometimes you just want to cut the negotiations dead. You just want to walk away. And sometimes they don't get the point. They keep sending you offers. So if you really just want to get them off your back, you can send them this one.
Okay, message received. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that one makes it pretty clear. But yeah, I think that's a very good feature. I've always wanted to kind of verbalize, the way I'm feeling to people when they send me an offer. So I think that really kind of, adds to it. And hopefully they can add some more, for those more nuanced emotions that you feel when someone sends you some shitball cards for your Sho Sasaki rare.
Yeah. Now, Alster, let's look post-international break. Let's look to the future. We're back in the pro setting. Ugh, I still don't like the fact it's called pro, but anyway. I'm in the limiteds. I've got my Liverpool stack. I'm probably going to go to market and try and buy like a really good forward because while Son is very good and he is your Lord and Messiah, probably not the level I need him to be with all my other elite cards. 4 big greens on the weekend, still not enough for a tier 5. Welcome to the world of limited, Simon. We love it. We're having fun.
Limited champion.
Now, in Champion Europe, yeah. Do we dabble? Do I put the toes out into another team, perhaps?
Good question. I mean, so at the moment, obviously you got Rodri in there. You do need a forward. I mean, is Salah off the table?
He's gonna go though, dude. Like he's gone in a couple of months. I can guarantee you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, do you just kind of go balls to the wall and get the best of the best? You don't. Do you have the budget to go out and get a Harry Kane, for example?
I looked. He's 0.1, like 1/6 ETH.
Okay. But if you win just like 53 times, you should recoup that pretty easily.
That's funny. It actually did cross my mind, like that logic of like I was like, yes, I'm spending the most you'll ever spend on a limited card. But over the past 3 weeks, if I had Harry Kane, I would have won 3 more times. So
okay, well let's unofficial sponsored post here. Let's have a look at some Sorare data.
Because I love Sorare data. When I'm feeling lonely and sad, I like to just log on and look at the Sorare data app.
That's
data.
right.
It's
That's
good for
right.
you.
Are you sick and tired of people seeing your internet history? ExpressVPN is the VPN that I use. Wrong one. Athletic Greens is my go-to supplement. It's just so easy. You just drink it, and all of your health problems go away.
And it's green.
Here we go. Okay, Harry Kane. Sorry, just a little ad break there. Harry Kane. All right, let's do some expert scouting. Similar players. Okay, can't afford the limited price, which is not showing up there for me. Bang.
It's a real buy low, is it, Alster?
Yep. Yeah, buy low on Harry Kane. It's going to the moon. Okay. Okay, no similar players, so no one is as good as Harry Kane. So that kind of knocks that one on the head.
This is great. This is going well.
That really that sucked. All right, let's try again. Thanks, Soradata. Didn't even use your imagination. All right, so we need Champion Europe. So let's have a look. Okay, I mean, you've got his buddy Leroy Sané, who you've got to think is assisting Harry from time to time. He is currently going for about a fifth of the price, so that's not too bad. Guirassy, I don't think he can maintain that. I think he's injured as well. Mbappe is not that expensive. Salah is pretty cheap, but as you said, he's probably on the run. Griezmann, now that's an interesting shout. How do you feel about an Antoine Griezmann?
Is he at Atletico Madrid still?
Yes, but they have been scoring goals, which is weird.
Pretty
juicy.
I think it needs to be a player that's on a team where they're versus some farmer leagues and they can just score goals. That's probably the only issue with the Prem is like, even if you are a really good Premier League team, I know there's your Haalands and likes, but you're still up against some top quality defenses. So someone of that caliber would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Champion, so your options are a little bit limited. I think Griezmann could be, because he's on all sets, takes pens, he's a main man, as we like to say, and he's pretty cheap, really, considering what you're getting from him. Doku, no. Oh, Cherney, what could have been? Other than that, I mean, I think Bayern probably fit the bill the most in terms of like, they're going to beat up on teams, aren't they?
Yeah.
Vinicius is pretty cheap at the moment. He hasn't been great. I mean, Leroy Sané could definitely be a good shout. You know, you got to think he's in and about there with Harry Kane.
Oof. Is Antoine the kind of player that'll go to Saudi?
That's a good question.
That's the problem with all those players, though, isn't it? They're all Saudi.
That's true, yeah.
Kind of boys.
Yeah, January's going to suck. Okay. So Sane has been assisting Harry, as we can see.
He's
been taking
on the
frees.
normal page, but I'm glad you're having a good time.
Had a great time over here. Oh man, the stats that I'm getting. Okay, let's just stop that then. Okay, plenty of options there for you. But yeah, I think you just. Wouldn't it be nice to know that your forward's most likely going to score a goal every weekend? Is that worth paying for? That feeling of being of safety.
Yeah, 100%. And I saved myself a lot of money and a lot of hurt with not getting James Maddison and listening to my own advice. So
I've got a bit of ETH the international break. He'll be fine.
I've got a bit of ETH there, and that's especially with Maddison out. I know you said he's gonna be back, but God, Tottenham didn't look good without him. So I think I'll hit the market. I think it's that classic thing of in Champion Europe you need 5 greens, so I may as well get the best of the best. And what about Cap 220?
Good question. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I was going to ask you actually, how are you feeling having just one team every week? Is that touching you in all the right spots?
It is, because I'm still watching 3 to 4 football games on the weekend. Which
you mean you don't have time to watch 13 or 14 games in the middle of the night every weekend?
Yeah, no, it's funny, isn't it? It's actually more than what I had when I had 3 teams of just random blokes.
It's a very good point.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting my message across. I can't stress enough. I'm quality over quantity.
I'm not liking this. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having such a good time. I'm really been drawn closer to the game that I love. I don't like this. I want D-Gen Simon back. I want throwing your life savings at a rare card of some Peruvian guy that scored well 1 week. He's going to the moon. I miss that.
It's like I've gone on an ayahuasca trip and I've come back all one with my spirit, and I used to be such a hateful Sorare manager, and I've gone to rehab and I've come back and I'm just accepting my scores, Alistair. Son didn't score, but that's okay because that's part of the journey,
Yeah, I don't like it. Anyway. Okay, so 220. So I was going to say, I think I will. 220 is a tough one for me because I do have some shit super rares. So it kind of makes sense for me. Goalkeeper really is the roadblock for me in terms of entering more competitions. And I know that I could buy a rare goalkeeper to go in the Cap 220, but then I have to think about my strategy for it, but I think I will go for it because at the end of the day, super rare is one of those ones where it's right, we're going to reward those of you who just have the deepest galleries. Not saying I have the deepest galleries, but whereas limited and rare, it's going to be about those guys that can go out and find the cheat code week to week. So what I was thinking for you, limited 220 obviously is going to be insanely competitive, but could this be a good way for you to flex those scouting muscles a little bit more? Obviously, you can use a common card to fill in your team every week, so you don't have to necessarily go and buy 5 guys. You can 1 week you might use the goalkeeper, 1 week you might put Mbappe common in there because you've got some cheat code limited that you've picked up. It allows you to be a bit more strategic with it and have a bit of fun with it because mostly they're going to be shit eaters anyway who don't cost much. So it could be a way for you to be a bit more engaged with the strategic side of things without
yeah, rather than at the moment I'm just putting in my same lineup each week. I get that. It's a double-edged sword because, yes, you can pick up guys for cheap and it's a good way for me to dip my toe into the scouting world. But the reality is I'm also going to be stuck with a whole lot of shit kickers in my gallery for a very, very, very long time. I can already see it. I'm bringing in some random bloke for a weekend. He doesn't score well and I can never... he's just going to be there forever.
That's where you're wrong, Simon. You can use him in Rivals every week.
And it's begun.
Mind blowing.
Mind's blown. Wow.
There goes all my money. Yeah, I mean, I think you can. I think this could be a fun way for you to and again, I'm not involved because everything I do turns to shit. But if you want to go out there, you can look ahead. You can look at fixtures. You're right, who's got a good 5 or 6 fixtures coming up that I could potentially pick up who, you know, has been injured and is coming back, you know, like Nabil Fekir comes to mind in La Liga. Like he's been out for 2 years or whatever. He's coming back off the bench. He's going to have a low L15. Rodrigo Bentancur for Spurs. He's going to have a low L15. Like you can go out and do a bit of digging, and that could be something to follow, you know, over the course of a month. And because it's limiteds and because it's a month long, you know, the rewards if you do well are great, but the stakes aren't that high.
And so I did see a Twitter comment just before going in to record this episode where someone said, you know, as a Storm employee, I'm very good at fitting things under a cap, which is a little, you know, inside joke for all the rugby league fans in Australia.
Yeah, that's a deep one. Basically, for those of you who aren't familiar, Simon works for an organisation, a rugby league club, that on multiple occasions has been caught cheating the salary cap. You know, a few brown paper bags, a few yachts turning up in people's backyards. You know, they won like 3 premierships in a row, and it was all stripped from them in utter disgrace because they're a bunch of cheats, and Simon is in the back office there tapping away. So, yeah, just a little background for everyone there.
Anyway, before we wrap up, Alistair, it's been a very exciting app. I mean, we've talked about the lunch wheel, one of my favourite concepts in the world at the moment. We've talked about
May as well have not talked about anything else.
Yeah, it's just been lunch wheel this, lunch wheel that. Do you want to touch on NBA briefly before we wrap up?
Briefly. Oh man, I just shouldn't be trusted with a balance of ETH. I put a bit of money in for NBA, and I kept an eye on the scores, and just it looked really hard to win. I think they're adjusting the reward pools because people have complained. They're like, I'm scoring like crazy amounts of points here and not winning anything. And I think it's got something to do with the fact that they changed the scarcities from 1,000 to 100, and etc. So I was like, well, I'm not going to try and buy a team to compete because it just seems very difficult. But I was like, I'm going to try and buy some cards that I can flip. Now, I just went out and bought a bunch of just pieces of shit who might get their moment in the sun, basically. None of them have got their moment in the sun yet. And then my other strategy was I saw how people reacted to the Premier League month, you know, the Premier League cash competition. I saw how people reacted to the first couple of weeks of the NBA cash competition. And I thought, okay, so to fill you in, Simon, the NBA competition, you need new season cards. So there's a premium on them there. Now, what was happening was the first week, the only games that count are the games in the NBA in-season tournament. I'm not sure if you're aware of that going on. So not every team plays. So each week, it depends on what teams you have in your gallery that are playing that competition. So you might come across a week where you're like, shit, I need to go and buy more cards for this. Brilliant from Sorare. Annoying, frustrating for managers. I thought, I'm going to look a few weeks ahead, buy some cards that will be in demand when people are setting their lineups for that particular week, and then just wait for the cash to roll in. Quick flip. Got to that week, fully expected my inbox to be full of offers. Not an offer, nothing. So now I'm just stuck with them. Yeah, and I can't even use them because I bought a bunch of like limiteds and stuff because I was like, yep, someone's going to need a Tyrese Halliburton limited in 2 weeks' time. And they just did it. So far, it's not going well. I have to re-strategize and think about things very deeply because it's not been off to a good start. So I'm currently, to recap, TLDR, I'm not winning anything, and all the cards I bought to flip aren't flippable. So going well.
Fantastic. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Look, make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you want to see on the lunch wheel, what teams we should be battling it out with to get on the lunch wheel, and we'll be back next week, hopefully on time, with a bigger and better lunch wheel just for you.
Yeah, and if you've got anything you want to put on the lunch wheel, if you've got a favorite lunch, if you've got you've got an item that you think could go on the lunch wheel, could be suitable, let us know.
I said that.
Did you?
Let us know. Yeah. It's the first thing I said.
Yeah. Forget
Anyway,
what I just said.
But dude, please let us know. So, all right. Catch you next week, guys. We'll see you on the flip side.
Bye.
Cool.
Wow. Well, I've actually been solving the peace crisis in the Middle East.
Oh, that's nice. How's that going for you?
Not great.
Well, I actually went out after.
Sorry, God. Okay. We almost made it.
I almost made it. Yeah, but also, I actually went out and bought cards with.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So close.
Yep. All right, go on. They're just gonna cut to us having red faces.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
Well, I actually went out and bought cards with international utility, and I've been running stacks, and I can win prizes during the midweeks. It's actually been quite fun.
So close.
Ooh, just lost at the edge. Lost at the last quarter.
Oh dear.
I would have. Okay.